My name is Eileen, and on behalf of the Yale and US Global China Connection, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you.
Hello, my name is David, and we will be your MCs for this event. The committee has worked hard over the last few months to organize this case competition, and we appreciate you being here today. We hope you'll find this program we have set up for you to be fruitful and engaging.
In a case competition, participants strive to develop the best solutions to a case study within an allocated time frame. Participants have to exercise skills and knowledge on a real-world case with the support of experts who can provide the relevant professional advice.
Case competition teams are tasked with assessing the situation, analyzing available information, creating a solution, and defending their recommendations. A judging panel evaluates each team independently.
To kick off this morning's program, we are pleased to have Yao Lin, the chairman of the ASEAN-China Case Committee, to deliver the welcome address, as well as Colette, the vice chairman, to deliver the case briefing. Let us welcome them on stage.
A very good morning to our distinguished speakers, representatives of our sponsoring organizations, City Developments Limited, Ascendus REIT, and Singapore International Foundation, representatives from our partners, Business China, the Urban Land Institute, faculty, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the inaugural ASEAN-China Case Competition organized by the Yale and US Global China Connection and hosted by Yale and US College. We are honored to have more than 400 participants from 80 universities with 18 countries around the globe represented. The Yale and US Global China Connection is part of a global network headquartered in New York, comprising more than 60 university chapters that aims to connect future leaders from all nations who are interested in engaging China. The Yale and US GCC regularly hosts events ranging from summits and conferences to competitions and speaker sessions. Our mission is to equip our youth with skills and friendships necessary to succeed both in China and internationally. This competition in particular aims to encourage students to learn more about contemporary issues in China. We believe that case competitions are unique. Case competitions allow participants to engage in active learning, and we hope that students will have a sustained engagement with China on multiple levels. Firstly, through understanding Chinese society and how people behave. Secondly, on how Chinese institutions work. And lastly, to gain a working understanding of Chinese policies. These are areas that many people, including Chinese themselves, find quite difficult to navigate. The GCC hopes to explore these complex challenges through our events. Our theme for this year is urbanization in China, and specifically, the building of eco-cities. We chose this theme because of the great impact that urbanization would have for the future of China and the world. With China in a period of economic transition into a more consumer-led economy, the race is on to find a more sustainable model for human development, as it is simply not possible for the Earth to support more nations following in the footsteps of the Western-led economic model, consumption-led urban development model. It is thus critical for the region to come together to explore and share the best approaches to sustainable urbanization, learning from the context of China and the region. In line with the liberal arts ethos of our college, we would like to promote interdisciplinary learning and collaborative learning, where youth from different areas of expertise come together to generate comprehensive solutions to the complex problems facing our world today. We are honored today with the presence of distinguished speakers from the industry and academia. They will be covering a range of topics addressing the scope of considerations when building eco-cities, and ranging from public policies and property development to urbanization models and eco-city master planning. Please treasure this incredible opportunity to hear the opinions of our experts and understand the views of the different stakeholders and how they intersect and challenge one another. Finally, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our platinum sponsor, City Developments Limited, gold sponsors Ascendus REIT, silver sponsors Singapore International Foundation, our partners Business China, the Urban Land Institute, Future Cities Lab, our mentors, Mr. Stephen Ho, Professor Nick Smith, our faculty advisor, Professor Nancy Gleason, our college UNUS, including DOS and SIPE. I would also like to express my utmost gratitude to my team, Colette, Jeffrey, Perry, Yihao, Daniel, Florence, Coco, Rachel, and many others who have made this event possible. Last but not least, thank you to all of you for participating in our event. Your enthusiasm and support has been critical in our success. Most importantly, I hope that you are able to have a deeper engagement with the pertinent issues relating to China and the region, and meet other passionate individuals. Thank you.
Good morning, one and all. I'm here to deliver the case briefing for the case competition this morning. And so for the participants who are in the audience, this will just be good for you to take note of. I'll be going through some of the details on what is expected of you and what the case competition is about. And for those who are in the audience who are not participants, just bear with me for a while, but also hope that this will give you a good background onto the thought that has gone behind this case competition. Okay, so an overview of my presentation will just be, I'm going through the concept behind the case competition, the case question, the rules, the timeline, and some of the details regarding submission. So, what is the concept behind the ASEAN-China case competition? Well, firstly, every year we do plan to choose a current issue that even we as a committee are interested in looking at. And so this year we have chosen the theme to be urbanization in China, and specifically in the building of eco-cities. And what is the key question that we want to ask? The key question is building eco-cities a good model for development? Is eco-city building sustainable and replicable as a model of development? And so, of course, we want to look for interested students to form groups to solve this very key problem and answer this question. And so we hope that, the teams that we have this year from Singapore, ASEAN, and all over the globe are people who are interested, who are passionate to solve these issues and who want to answer these questions. And of course, once we have a whole host of different solutions, we're going to find the best solution. And so teams are judged based on a set of criteria, which I will go through later, and 8 finalists will be chosen to present at the grand finals here in Yale and US on the 17th of October. Okay, so now that I've gone through the concept, let me just share the case question for this year. The case question is this. Your goal is to propose an implementation plan for an eco-city development project in the Liangjiang New Area in Chongqing that is environmentally sustainable, economically viable, and that gives consideration to the social aspects as well as the livability of this eco-city. And the final proposal requires your team to present a viable, innovative, and practical solution on how to build this eco-city. And so a lot of the participants would have gotten this case question yesterday or the day before. And so we hope that you have come today with some background questions on what you want to ask our speaker panel later during the Q&A session. And so who are you pitching to, and why are you doing this case competition? Why are you answering this question? So you will assume the perspective of a non-governmental urban development consultant, and you are providing a proposal to the Development and Reform Commission of the government of Chongqing. And your goal is to convince this commission to adopt your recommendations and to hire you and your team to develop this eco-city in Chongqing, Liangjiang new area. So here's the judging criteria. First of all, we are going to look at the feasibility of your solution. And while we want you to be very creative and innovative with the way you think about eco-cities, we want this to be very grounded. Grounded in the existing political, economic, and social dimensions that exist today in the Liangjiang area. And we also want, your plans to be cost-effective. So you will get a sum of, of course, with whatever sum of money you get, you need to plan very efficiently so that your city does not incur a long-term debt and that is sustainable economically. And we also want you to think about sustainability economically, environmentally, and socially. How does your city work towards self-sustainability as well? And of course, equity, so looking at managing the conflicts between different stakeholders when you build an eco-city, including citizens, investors, the government, and lots more. We also want you to consider context specificity. And so how well do you understand the demographic composition, employment situation, and social landscape, particularly in the Liangjiang region? And so this is something that will really set aside the better solutions and distinguished, the really, really good proposals. Those that are very targeted, they're not very, just generic, but that really consider the context that you're in. And we also want you to have some cross-referencing to other eco-cities. So there are many different eco-cities in China, as you will learn later in the speaker panel. And so we do hope that you will also consider how some of these other eco-cities have developed and learn from their successes and their failures. We also want some creativity and originality, which I don't think I need to elaborate on, as well as some balance. And so we want you to really balance between the social, economic, and environmental dimensions of your eco-city. And so you need to understand your perspective as an external consultant presenting your proposal to the Chongqing Development and Reform Commission. And your goal is really to convince them to adopt your recommendations and not just adopt your recommendations, but to hire you and your team to develop the eco-city for them. And so, what would really distinguish good proposals are those that are viable, feasible, and that take into consideration some of the practical considerations on the ground. So do make use of both the video and the written response to make your case. Your proposal need not cover all the different grounds with equal weightage, but it's important to show some consistency, balance, and cohesion in your work. And your case submission, you may choose to prioritize certain aspects of the eco-city, but do add in why you have chosen to do so and justify your reasons. And the planning parameters such as the time scale and land size are up to your discretion. So here is our timeline for today. We are here today at the case launch, and participants will have from now until the 2nd of October to think about their solutions. And then you have to submit all your cases by the 2nd of October. You will be told if you are a finalist on the 5th of October, and the grand finals will be here on the 17th of October. So how's the selection done? Well, the final 8 teams will be chosen by a panel of judges. And so this panel of judges will be made up of industry experts. There will be private real estate developers, there will be academics, there will be people who are just experts in the area of urbanization or have had a lot of experience working in China or who are urban planners. There will be a very comprehensive group that makes up the judging panel. And so they will decide on how to grade your proposal. So based on the different criteria, you will be given a numerical grade corresponding to how well you are able to fit that criteria. And the judge's decision is final. So the results will be released on the 5th of October. And so for the top 8 teams, will be given mentors to allow a sustained engagement with the solution. And because we will be having overseas teams, these overseas teams will also be able to come to Singapore to present for the grand finals. And once everybody is here, we will conduct some intensive workshops that will sort of work on case presentation skills, as well as give some advice on how directed the solutions are. And we will be teaming up with Future Cities Lab to conduct these workshops. And for the grand finals, the teams are required to give a 15-minute live presentation for the judges, and this will be followed by a 5-minute Q&A session. And this will happen here at the Yale and US Performance Hall on the 17th of October. So just bear with me while I go through the last nitty-gritty bit of what is expected from the submissions. First of all, you need to submit a written response. And so the written response can be text, but do include charts, diagrams, drawings, whatever you feel is appropriate to express your solution. And do not exceed 5 pages. You're given 2 extra pages for appendix and citations, but we'd like you to stick within the 5 pages. And there's the usual Times New Roman, 1.2 line spacing, size 12. Your papers must be written in English, and the format must follow a policy memorandum. And you must also submit the second part, which is a video. And so what is the idea behind the video? The video is more designed as an introductory promotional video for your proposed eco-city. So this is not to replace the written proposal, but this is more of, how would you really distill the essence of what your eco-city is about? How would you market yourself? What are the few selling points of your eco-city that make it stand out, that really make it an idea worth pursuing? So do submit your video in the following formats that I've listed above, and the length should be no more than 5 minutes. Do include a short scene of, at least citations or some credit at the end of the video, and this should be within the 5 minutes. So don't worry, I will be sending out these slides later on, and you can also find our rules on the website. And the deadline, I've made this very big, but the deadline is on the 2nd of October this year at 11:59 p.m. And for those who are participating from overseas, do note that this is Singapore time. All submissions must reach our email account, yncAccc@gmail.com. And if the file is too large, do upload it onto Dropbox and share it with this account. And so with that, that's all I have. I'd like to, again, acknowledge our sponsors for making this event possible, as well as our partners, and for Yale and US for hosting us today. And so you may contact us in these following platforms. We do have hashtags for this event, ACCC 2015, as well as ASEAN-China Case Competition. So do feel free to follow us on social media as well. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much.